Welcome to the visual release notes for Express version 2024.3. We have a lot to cover in this major release, so let's jump right into it. As part of the Express version 2024.3 release, the minimum password length for all Express users is being increased from 8 characters to 15 characters. But why? Well, the first thing to know is that no other password requirements are being added at this time, only the character limit is changing. This change to longer passwords is required for Express to comply with current security standards. Longer passwords are also much harder for cybercriminals and attackers to break. After the release of Express version 2024.3, users can continue to use their current shorter passwords until they expire, but we recommend that users change their passwords by following the steps in the guide How to Set and Change Your Express Password. When a user manually changes their password or their current password expires, users must enter a new password that meets the following requirements. It must be 15 to 20 characters long, it must contain at least one letter and one number, and it cannot be a password previously used in the last 5 years. Your security is our priority, and protecting your account is essential. No one at ODHS or ODDS will ever ask you for your password in any communication. Please do not share your password with anyone. There was a display issue on the Plan of Care Service Eligibility tab that we've also fixed. For individuals that have a level of care and eligibility segments that have the same start or end date as the Plan of Care, those now display correctly on that tab. Entering adjustments to provider credentials no longer results in the creation of duplicate rows on that provider record. And for those that need to take action on service-delivered billing entries that have a status of reported, checkboxes are now available to select when searching for these SDs. We've also resolved an issue that was causing enhanced or exceptional PSW claims to suspend when an individual received an Oregon Needs Assessment in the middle of a pay cycle. The View Change in Service Group report is a relatively new report, and it allows users to get a report of individuals whose service group has either increased or it's decreased. And this information can be helpful for CME staff to identify and to update plans of care and add-ons as needed. Now, on that report, there's the new Show In-Home Hours Info checkbox that's available, and it adds the following information into the results list: service group monthly hours limit, current hour limit, add-on hours, out of compliance, total monthly limit, and due process effective date. You can use this checkbox to get all of that new information to show on your report. Recently, there were changes made to the demographic page of the Oregon Needs Assessment. Now, those changes were made on the system online, but what we've done with this release is we've ensured that the printed version of the ONA and the different ONA reports that are available are in alignment with those changes. And the screenshot below shows what that looks like. Here we see a printed Oregon Needs Assessment, and 3 of those fields that were previously updated in the Express system now show as updated on the form. For agency providers that deliver service under the Children's Extraordinary Needs Program, we've added in a new modifier that can be used with OR 526 attending care. It's the Z2 modifier. This modifier code is used in a very specific situation. It's when one agency is sending one paid parent direct support professional and one non-paid parent direct support professional to provide support to a child at the same time as part of a 2-to-1 staffing ratio. This was always allowed, but the Z2 modifier allows the providers to bill for it in Express. This new modifier code is designed to be used together with an authorization and a billing for OR 525NA. Because of that, when OR 526Z2 billings are created, they won't draw down from an individual's monthly hours limit. Here's a few more details about this modifier code. First, OR 526Z2 can only be authorized for agency providers. Second, service prior authorizations for OR 526Z2 are considered a 2-to-1 service and will pend to ODDS for approval. Third, they require a corresponding OR 525NA SPA in the individual's plan of care. And fourth, DSPs can't use Express Mobile EVV to bill for OR 526Z2. The billings that are created have to be created manually in the Express desktop, or they must be created using the SD import process. Now, because this is a Children's Extraordinary Needs Program service, some of the other limitations that apply to the other services also apply here, such as the number of hours authorized on the plan line or the SPA can't exceed 20 hours per week. The total combined service delivered billing entries that are created for all paid parent attendant care services cannot exceed 20 hours per week. And for the authorization, the dates have to align with the child's extraordinary needs waiver eligibility. And there has to be a documented parent-child relationship in Express. But with the inclusion of this new modifier code, now all 2-to-1 service scenarios can be billed for. State staff will now be able to indicate that an agency provider participates in the CEN program. This is entered on the provider's Community Living Support Service Location record under the new section, Provider Designations. The Find Provider search page has also been updated, and it now allows users to search for records that have been marked as CEN providers. When this field is selected in the search criteria, only providers that have this field selected on their provider record will return. If you'd like to see what changed on the Help menu, check out the PDF list of changes that's found in the Express Train post-release email. And for more details about all the changes that went into this release, take a look at the full release notes that appears at the bottom of that email. Thank you for watching the Express version 2024.3 visual release notes.